Make sure it goes live on there. Looks like we're live. I can't tell. Hello? Hello? Alright, boom. There we go. Well, welcome to Out of the Draft podcast. This is episode 5. We only have 2 of our people today. Me and Mitch. Sorry. Mitch, you can introduce yourself in a second. But sorry, unfortunately, Thomas had some family stuff to do, take care of, as well as Dylan, a.k.a. Stat Boy. But I'm Dylan, and...
Mitchell, I'm pleased to be here, even though it's just us 2, sadly. But
unfortunately, but I feel like it'll still be fun a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we can go ahead and start off with where was we at? Darlington, yeah.
Darlington, yeah. Throwback Weekend.
Throwback Weekend. By the way, it's ironic that one of the worst throwbacks won. That's usually how it works.
True.
It's always like one of the worst throwbacks always wins.
It really is.
No offense to Harvick's last year, but like, still.
No, yeah, his was a good one. And then also Keselowski's that he got, 3-4 years ago, that was a great one. But other than that, they pretty much suck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny how that works. I guess they care about more of the car than the actual
the scheme, right?
Well, it was 750 horsepower package, so we knew that it was going to be fun to see, slipping and sliding all the way around. That's exactly what we saw. We didn't really see battles for the lead, but we saw really great racing throughout the race. I know that personally from Twitter. Hold on one second. Can you shut the door all the way? It's cracked and I hear like people talking. Please and thank you. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead. What was this? Oh, from Twitter. Yeah, I know a lot of people. Twitter. It was like very mixed emotions on the situation about it. A lot of people said, this package may not be the best than what we thought it was, because of the gaps between. I mean, literally, Truex had the best car, so there wasn't really a battle for the lead. But personally, I think, we're gonna have snoozers no matter what package you have. I think, but the fact that the drivers were racing this weekend instead of just, figuring out which lane to go in, it felt like a race that we watched.
Right.
I thought it was exciting to see, and I'm a Truex hater, so so like to say that is pretty exciting, or it's pretty challenging for me because like I looked at it as in like, oh, Truex won, but I saw what they were dealing with. Even Truex said his car sucked, like it was loose.
Yeah.
But you can have your thoughts on the race.
Yeah, the race was good. It was, like you said, a little bit of a snoozer. It was good. The cars were obviously hard as hell to handle, which is what we want, what the drivers want as well, and put it more back into the driver's hands, and they can drive the car more with the throttle and the brake and so on, not just, play and block air for all day, because that's not as fun either. But, I mean, it was all right, though. I mean, yeah, like you said, Truex pretty much dominated, so there was really never a battle for the lead. We had some early on, but that was because Truex wasn't there yet. But, I mean, yeah, it was good racing throughout the pack, though. I feel like there was a lot of passes throughout the pack. Just once it kind of got up to like 3rd, 4th place, there wasn't much going on. They just kind of all held position. But yeah, I mean, it was a good weekend all around. I love Throwback Weekend. It's probably my favorite weekend just because of all the schemes. It's cool to see all the throwbacks and stuff. And I just gotta say, the truck race, man, was good until stage 3, I think. Then it just became a huge wreck fest, as we saw with we had that one huge wreck with like 14 drivers, I think, something like that.
Legit, I
that's crazy.
I don't even know what happened though, because like if you look at it, the Ford didn't even spin his tires, right? So like the guy, I forgot who rammed him. I don't know. I don't remember the truck person. I didn't see the truck race. I
remember, yeah.
By the way, shout out to Zachary in the chat. Welcome.
Welcome.
I just saw it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that really happened. I know he got a bump, and then he went straight into his teammate right after that bump, and then just
Right. Then
just
it
looked,
was all hell.
and then it looked like Arco for a minute. I legit
Yeah.
don't know what happened. I feel bad for all the teams because legit, like KBM destroyed their whole race team, and that
Right there in
accident,
that one, yeah.
and they were 1, 2, 3, like
Yep.
so. So that just tells me a lot about the truck series in itself. But Sheldon
Yeah.
Creed ended up winning, and then there was
Yep.
some con- controversial situation about that actually because after he won, someone on Twitter, I don't know if you saw this, Mitch, but
I
someone on
didn't.
Twitter said, "Hey, Marcus Lemonis, the guy who owns Camping World and who does a lot of stuff with NASCAR,
Right.
why don't you sponsor this truck? Because he's the past champion and such and such, such and such." Um, well, Marcus said, "We tried, but they didn't take our offer."
Really?
But, and then Sheldon Creed unprofessionally responded to his tweet and said, "Well, we're a big team. We don't deserve $15,000 for a sponsorship." Uh, I personally, I kind of want to have my own little topic on this because I think that was super unprofessional, super ungrateful, and
Right.
I'm sorry, but you telling people what he was giving you is will tell sponsors like, for instance, yes, you may be $100,000 team, right? You need $100,000 per race to make your budget, correct? But if you have zero and you only and someone gives you 15 grand to just
It's
put their
absolutely better than nothing.
it's literally better than nothing, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't just go from 0 to 100. You obviously have to count your way up there.
Right. Right.
That to me was weird. GMS has a lot of issues right now with money, as you can tell. Like they completely cut off
Yeah.
Lassard. So
Which is a bummer for him
yeah,
because he's talented.
he is like he talked. He was saying like he's sad, but he understands the situation.
Right. Right.
But that right there explains a lot about GMS and the way they run their company, right? Like they automatically, it's good to set goals, right? But I think there's little achievements in those goals, right? Um, I'm not gonna say that they should take the 15,000 per race. Obviously, they feel like they deserve more, but now since they brought out the number of what he was offering, what if he was offering a smaller team a certain amount, right? So like, let's say if he offers Norm Benning 15 grand, right? I mean 5 grand for his sponsorship. Well, I'm sorry, but he's gonna look at that and be like, "Well, why didn't you offer me 15?" So he's not gonna take that until he offers him 15.
Right. Right. And just think about Camping World in general. They've sponsored multiple trucks this season. Multiple per race.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure all of them weren't getting 15 grand each. I guarantee it. Because I'm sure the 15 grand originally was probably going to be him only running that sponsor the whole season.
Yeah.
So now all them teams that constantly have that sponsorship are, who knows what they're getting, 2, 5, 6, and they're probably like, well, what the hell?
Bingo. So,
yeah.
So, no offense to Sheldon Creed, but I feel like that was super unprofessional as a driver.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people were kind of agreeing with Sheldon on this, and I could see that. Like I'm a championship driver. We're a championship team. We deserve
right, and
more.
I do get that. Right, and they do, but
you don't gain 0 to 100,000, right? You 15 grand could help you pay the expenses of the travel, tires, fuel,
right,
equipment that you brought with you, right? So, yes, it's not covering the truck itself. It's not covering the engine. It's not covering the chassis. But you're wasting all the money to buy the tire, to buy the fuel. I don't know personally how much it costs. I'm not trying to say that.
Right.
Say that we know that, but that was, to me, that was super terrible. But
absolutely,
I guess congrats to Sheldon Creed for that, and also the win. personally, I think he did a really dirty move on Ben Rhodes on coming to the white flag. Okay, so obviously they didn't get into each other, but if you notice, Ben he never crowded him down when he was taking the lead from Ben, but
Right.
when it was a green light checker and they were coming into turn 1 and 2, he legit went on Ben's door and like never gave him any racetrack because it's Darlington in itself.
Right. He held him down. Yeah.
And like, no offense, if I was Ben, I probably would have just moved, like,
slid up.
like I would have got loose and then went into his red flag
right.
But,
put him in the wall. End of story.
But I guess he needed to win. Obviously, the whole team really needed some step up. But I guess with that 15,000, they could have, but they just didn't take it.
Right, and that goes back to what you were saying. You know, obviously 15 is better than nothing, but 15,000, that's obviously covers X amount of things. We don't know specifically, but it covers a certain amount, and then that leaves 15,000 that you could have put elsewhere into your engine, into your aero packages, and working on that stuff, which helps your performance and helps you gain more sponsors and more money.
Just imagine 4 races with $15,000 a race, right?
Right.
That's $60,000. That's more than you made all year.
Right.
No offense to GMS, but like, I feel like there was a greedy person behind there that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I do agree. I do think Sheldon Creed deserves more. I mean, obviously, we don't know what the highest paid Truck Series driver is and what that number is, or sponsorship wise, but I do think that they probably, yeah. But I was going to say,
I'm sorry.
They no, you're good. But I personally do think they deserve more, especially coming off a championship run. You expect them to have a sponsor on the truck. They did all last season, as far as I remember. So I'm surprised that they don't. And then even with them not, even in the theory that was the only thing that came across the table was Camping World, how would you not take it? Like, that's just mind blowing. Point blank, period. They want to sponsor you. Obviously, if fucking Golden Corral comes through and they give you 20,000, take the 20 instead of the 15. But why would you not? It doesn't make sense. Plus, on top of that, just having a sponsor, period, whether it's a known sponsor or not, which Camping World is, obviously. So I feel like that adds a little extra. But just having something on the car, it looks better, period. It looks more professional. Not that you're not if you don't have a sponsor, because sponsors aren't easy to come by. But I feel like it just looks better. It looks more championship worthy.
Well, and what's funny is, let's say if you did take the 15,000, right? If you win in the Camping World Truck Series, Camping World, or the truck,
Camping, yeah.
That sponsor, if you win with that sponsor, he gives you
$100,000. Like, it doesn't make sense, and he just won. Just imagine.
Thank you. They beat their goal, right? So
right.
I'm sorry, but I just
it doesn't make sense.
I just think that was just dumb.
But, absolutely. It's dumb as hell.
I think it's dumb. Like, but I guess we all look at it a different way. I'm glad that me and you feel the same way. Like, you start somewhere, right? Like,
right.
You don't build a business. Right. Okay. So let's just say if you build a business, right, and you're making poster boards. I have no idea. You're not gonna get 20,000 customers first day, right? You're gonna get 1, maybe 2.
Maybe, yeah.
Right? But like you and then if you have that relationship with those people, you gain a bigger profit, right? Because you have people that come back and spread the word. But Marcus is a huge vendor for the sport. Like, I mean, he does a lot for NASCAR. I'm sorry, but like, he really carries it on his back, especially the Truck Series itself. But I don't know. I just feel like that was very disrespectful to him and to
absolutely
honestly, to the smaller teams as well. Like, I feel like that was like I deserve more. Like you
right.
But that's
that's disrespectful to the team, NASCAR in a sense, as well as the whole entire Camping World Truck Series, because obviously, who funds it? Who's the sponsor right now? So it's just smack in the face to the whole series. And on top of that, it's like, just imagine if he did take the sponsorship. He could have carried that to Xfinity and Cup. We've seen him sponsor all 3 series this season multiple times.
The 99 Daniel Suarez
exactly.
was sponsored by him this weekend.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So he could have carried that all the way throughout his career if he built that relationship. But for one, obviously, since he didn't take it, that don't help anything. But now he's talking bad about him. That one's out the window, obviously.
And probably more, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you give information like that out, you're automatically just looked at as whoa, maybe I shouldn't sponsor this guy. Not because he's rude or disrespectful, but he's going to give out information that shouldn't be given out, right? I think that number should never been given out.
No, never.
I don't care if you agree with it or not, but when you put a number out there, everyone knows the goal or the quota, right?
Right.
And that's just a problem, in my opinion.
Right. I completely agree. That's not information for everyone to hear. That's information for the sponsor to know, and the team owner, and maybe even the driver. Other than that,
I don't even think the driver should know.
Right, I agree. Other than that, no one else should know. It's not their business, really. That alone could even break his career. It really could.
I mean, it's not like he's got much going for him right now. He's stuck in the truck series. So,
it's only his second in a half a year, but
yeah, I don't know. I could just see his he reminds me of a Johnny Sauter, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? He's never gonna go really anywhere, but he's gonna stay there. He's gonna run well, but yeah.
Right.
But I guess we should get on Xfinity.
Yeah.
Xfinity was really fun to watch. By the way,
they always are, man. Always.
The package, perfect.
Literally, it is.
Horsepower and downforce that they have is just a perfect combination. I don't think that we should always have 900 horsepower. I don't think we should even have 8. Honestly, 7's a little too much to me. But the 620 that they use right now, perfect. And we're looking at 670 for the next gen in some areas. I'm like, yes. Because realistically, no one's going to watch a race and realize, oh, that car's going to go 10 miles per hour faster than it usually does. No, they're not going to see that. They're going to see the actual racing product, right? And we need more manufacturers, right? 3 is just not enough to support NASCAR. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
So getting a smaller engine, is perfect. So if we just go that route, that'll be fine. And with the composite bodies, it's awesome. You can get in the fence, and it really doesn't hurt your car, which the next gen will have. So everything just looks beautiful. I'm super happy with that. SHR. So SHR, this topic I want to talk about, kind of involves with the Xfinity race too, because they struggled in the Cup race. Obviously, 2 of their cars wrecked. Congrats to Chase Briscoe. He finished 11th. That's really awesome. Especially,
I think that might be his best finish of the season so far.
It is. But I know this is an Xfinity, but I just wanted to shout out him for a second because he is a rookie, and that's really good at Darlington. It shows that it's kind of the car more or less than him. And then, so Riley Herbst, okay? So he was up front, right, at the start of the race. He dropped to 27th within 20 laps. I'm sorry.
That's sad. That is absolutely a disgrace to SHR. From the past 2 seasons that they had. 2 seasons ago, they had Custer win 7, and then Briscoe 2, something like that. Then last season, obviously Briscoe 9.
Oh yeah.
Or I think it was 9. 9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like that. But it's a disgrace. His whole season has been a disgrace so far. He's wrecked out of half the races he's run. And even if he finishes in their 20th, the only place he didn't was this past Dega, or a couple of weeks ago. Dega, he finished 4th, and that was because of the caution. Realistically, he probably would have wrecked out if the caution had come out.
Probably. But like the future just doesn't look good for Stewart Haas Racing, and honestly, I
Yeah.
don't think Stewart cares. I know that may sound terrible, but okay, let's think of this. You know, you have Ryan Preece and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. who are outperforming JTG equipment, right? They
Yeah.
could easily trade them out. Well, let's just do one, okay? Let's just trade out Almirola. But let's say,
Yeah. Almirola, yeah.
let's just say that, okay? They get rid of Almirola. They trade one of them. Personally, I think Ryan Preece would be a perfect fit. He would win races. I think he would.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he went to Joe Gibbs and Xfinity, and he won like 2 out of his 4 races that he ran. So I don't know what Stewart and Haas is like. Oh, this is definitely it. But the backing of Smithfield really helps. But they lowered their backing, right? So like,
Right.
so why keep something that's he's 28th in points. He's literally 28th or 27th in points.
I think 28th, yeah. And actually, I think he dropped one because of the wreck on lap 7.
You are worse than a Spire car right now.
That's sad. That is sad.
I don't know what to say. I legit don't. I don't know if it's. I'm not saying it's him, but I haven't seen Danica run that bad. That's all I have to say.
I mean, I do think some of the issues with Almirola specifically, some were bad luck.
Yeah.
But others, the races that he has finished and had no issues, there's been zero speed, zero competitiveness out of that team. They're just riding around. They might as well be a starting park at that point.
Yeah.
It's sad. It really is. I do think regarding Briscoe and Custer, I think they're going to be good. I don't know if they're ever going to win championships. Don't know. It's way too early to tell. But we obviously know that they're talented. At least they showed that in Xfinity. So they got some level of talent. I think next year will be a really good test to see what that entails.
I think I agree with you on that because the next gen car is going to be a really telltale where the teams really are. So,
right.
So and not because it's the new car, so whoever puts the most money in, that's where they're at. No.
It's a whole new learning curve again.
Bingo. So
for everyone.
And who is always the best when it first comes out in a brand new car?
Hendrick
Motorsports, HMS.
Always.
The COT, HMS won literally almost every single COT race there was in 2007. Well,
I think the only one they didn't was the very first one at Bristol, the one that Kyle won.
Well, he was in the 5.
No, he was in the 18. I was there.
I promise you, he was in the 5.
No, not in 07.
I'm gonna look this up. Like seriously, like right now. Like
he was. I was there. I was sitting at the top of turn 2, bro.
Yeah, he was battling with the 31.
Yeah, he was in. I'm like 90% sure he was in.
Kyle Busch.
18.
Bristol. 5 car.
Is it for real?
Yeah, it's a 5 car.
All right. Well, never mind then.
I promise.
So never mind.
So
I could have sworn I was 18.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think RCR won one of the races. Oh yeah, Clint Boyer in the 07 at New Hampshire, the first chase race.
I don't think the 07 was RCR though.
You don't think it was Clint Boyer?
Well, I mean, I think it was Clint Boyer, but I don't think it was RCR though.
Okay, well,
I think it was an affiliation.
It could have been easily, yeah. But going back to what I was saying is like, that's
what race was that though? In 07?
Yeah,
New Hampshire.
Yeah, that was his first career win.
Yeah, I remember.
But going back to that point is SHR. Like, I really don't know if they. Where were they at? Okay, so I'm trying to think of 2013. Okay, because that is when SHR was transferred over from a new car.
I believe the only race they won that year was Dover with Stewart, and then I think Newman won a Phoenix race that year.
Okay, so one of each race. They didn't really shine until the year after they understood the car, right? But Joe Gibbs Racing and Hendrick, they were literally 1-2 in the championship, right? And Jimmy won his 6th title. Matt finished 2nd, so in the 20. So like, you see where the correlation is,
Yeah. Like, I remember that whole season, the mile and a half specifically. It was always Casey Kane versus Matt Kenseth.
Yep.
Every single mile and a half, every single one.
And I don't know. We have no idea what it was. It literally. Yeah. And then the super speedways were. It was Jimmy Johnson. He won the Daytona 500 that year. And then it was literally Hamlin. So that it was literally Joe Gibbs, Hendrick the whole season. I think Harvick won one race, if I'm not mistaken,
in 2013. Yeah, that was Richmond. That was the only one that year. Or actually, Richmond, and then I'm pretty sure he won the fall Phoenix, I believe. I could be wrong, yes. But I do know he did the Richmond.
He did. Yes, he did. You're right. He did. But that's my point with the RCR. Like, I don't or SHR. I have no idea where they really are. Like, I really don't.
Right.
I know Harvick's in a good place, right? Like he's outperforming his. Maybe he's not, right? Like maybe they're putting all the money in Harvick's car, which I can see that right now because they know that he has the future. That he is gonna at least perform in his equipment, right? But I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Whatever it is, hopefully they have something figured out for next year. But that's all I have to say on that. But Xfinity Race, let's finally get back there. It was really fun to watch all through the race. Honestly, I never knew who had the best car. I don't think anyone had the best car.
No. Yeah, it was. I think they had, like 8 different leaders, I think, something like that?
Yeah, it was. Honestly, the person who I really thought had the best car is someone who actually never led a lap. That was Ty Gibbs. No.
Oh, well, yeah, he had a good car as well, yeah.
Because he went through the field twice. He literally catching the leaders with 20 to go, like a second back, and he caught from 3 seconds back, right?
Right.
And then caution comes out, final pit stop. He gets another speeding penalty, goes to the rear, finishes, I think, still in the top 10.
Yeah, I think he came back to 8th or 9th,
with
something like that.
15 laps. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how, but whatever. Never raced at Darlington ever in his life. Never in a car.
He's going to be a star, no doubt, in my mind. He's going to be good.
He's going to be scary good, actually.
Yeah.
But all guy won the race. We had a little issue with Noah Gragson. They failed post race. So trying to think of
what did they fail?
So
because I don't know that.
It was like the spring rubber type part. They had something extra on both sides, but in the rule book, so this is how they won the appeal, right? How they lost it, and then the next day when they appealed it, this is how they won. Okay, and so in the rule book, it states that it's only for Daytona and Talladega that cannot be there, and Xfinity. Now in Cup cars, that can never be there. So that's already stated. But at Xfinity, it just says Daytona and Talladega. Well, every single one of the JRM cars had it, okay? But the Nines had the most in both sides. Well, after they won the appeal, they got the $100,000 back and, 4th or whatever they got.
4th.
Well, because of that, they end up. What happened after that? Oh, yeah. So Xfinity just put out a rule today, because they won that appeal, that is more than just Daytona and Talladega. So because of that, because of him doing that, or JRM doing that, they made it a rule where both teams, or every racetrack, that you can't have those two pallets or whatever. I really don't know what it was.
Right.
I don't even think they even gave that information out. But I know that they can't have that anymore. because of that. So that's super funny. That just shows how creative JRM is. Okay, so they knew that rule was not there. So if they got caught, they were gonna make that appeal no matter what, and that cost them $2,500 to make it, to even fail, right? But they knew that they were gonna win that, so that's why they did the appeal. That's awesome. Congrats to Junior and them and figuring out something underneath the rule book, right? So that
for sure.
That is old school, putting in new technology. So that is exactly what Dale Jr. is, right? And that's why he's doing exactly what he should be doing for the sport. And I love it. And then, as well with that, Thomas actually wanted to talk about this. So I'm not going to say much about it, but Dale Jr. officially said that it's now or never to get into the Cup Series. So that also means two things. One, I think it's going to be Noah Gragson that goes to the Cup Series. Here's why. Because the 9 car is owned by Rick Hendrick. But if JRM goes to Cup Series, that means they have to lose their funding from Rick Hendrick. Because that would be a 5th Hendrick-owned vehicle, right? It won't technically be, but it would be. So they're going to lose the 9 car completely from JRM. And that whole team will just move to Cup. And that's what I think is going to happen. It may not happen next year, right? Because they still got to find the charter. They still got to find this. They get all that program. But it could be 2023 that we can see JRM in the Cup Series.
I don't disagree. I think if they go, though, I think they're going to start out with 2 cars. I don't think they could do just one.
You don't think that they'll just do one?
No. I think it'd be Gragson, and then they're not going to do that. Maybe Allgaier. I don't see that, though, just because.
Well, it would be super smart if they did, right? And here's why. Because he has Cup experience, right? And he knows every track. So, for him to give information to the new engineers in the Cup Series, because, he's ran the Gen 6, right? Well, obviously, none of those engineers have probably even seen the Gen 6 car. Yeah, it'll be a new generation vehicle, right, when they come in, but they would understand the situation. But I think we could see Travis Mack actually go back to JRM. Travis Mack is the crew chief for Dana Suarez as of right now for Trackhouse. But Travis Mack was Annette's crew chief, and last year, and Annette he outperformed he literally performed better than what he should.
He last season was probably his best point-wise, I believe. Yeah. I know he won a couple of years ago now, but that's Annette in general. He's not a good driver. No. But I personally don't think it would be Allgaier, though. And the only reason I say that is because I believe a year ago, I watched an interview with him and talked about Cup Series and if he'd ever want to go back, and he literally said no. He said, obviously, I think if the right opportunity presented itself, he would. I don't know who wouldn't really, but I know he said that he was extremely happy in Xfinity and he was doing what he was doing. He wanted to win, and that's where he was winning. Yeah. I think self-consciously he probably thought he wasn't going to get a top-tier ride in Cup. I think he would do decent, but at the same time, I do think I talk about that with you? I don't even remember now. I have no talking about drivers. No, I talked about my dad, actually. So yesterday we're talking about drivers that just simply couldn't make it in Cup. AJ Allmendinger actually was one of the ones that came up. And I think Allmendinger is probably one of the same. I just think the level of aggression there, it's just harder. Point blank, it's harder in Cup. I don't think he'd succeed, personally.
I just don't think he cares. That sounds terrible to say, but why do something if you're not having fun, right?
Right, absolutely. And if you go and do something and you're miserable running Cup because you're not winning, then go down, and that is what he did. He went down and got essentially the best ride he could. at JRM, and he's winning. He's enjoying life, and he's doing what he's doing. And I personally don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, yeah, there's another tier above him to go to, but what's the point of going if you're not successful? And you can be successful one down and be happy. But
we could see because here's a driver that we haven't really talked about, but is going to be racing for JRM after the 12 races for Josh Berry, which will be Sam Mayer. So this will really kind of fit into the young generation, right? So JRM would be super smart to do one veteran and one young guy. Well, honestly, they could just do two young guys, right? Because you're gonna have Kelly, who has owned a race team for a long time, Dale Jr., who has owned a race team / drove and watched someone drive as a child for a very long time and understands exactly what needs to be done, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't really need the veteran / rookie, right? I think they could just go in with two guys who never raced a Cup car. Well, because
I agree.
Because the next gen,
I think Gregson has actually done a couple.
He's done for what's his name? The 62 car. What's it?
Yep.
Brennigan.
But yeah.
There you go. That's his name.
Brennigan. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I agree. I think they could go in straight, basically blind. I do think they would have a lot of growing pains to go through, just because obviously being rookies and young guys in Cup, you're going to run into a lot of problems probably. On top of that, just being a new team, period, there's going to be a lot of growing pains with it. But what's better than going through that with some new guys that are going to be there to stick it out with you,
Or here's a really good idea, right? Like, so let's say if Dale Jr. and Rick Hendrick, which they're super close, right? Let's say they take one guy from Hendrick, Alex Bowman, right? Do you see my point? So they take Bowman from Hendrick. They put
I don't know.
Like Bowman, I don't know if Bowman would like that, right? Like let's just put that there. But I think Bowman would also appreciate the situation because he's driving for the person who put him in the spot, right? Literally driving for the person who's put him in the spot, and that's
all right. Full circle.
It would be, it'd be right. It'd be a cool story to follow and to see what they really do. And honestly, I could see Bowman. He's really good. Like a lot of people don't notice, but like he's good at tracks that shows your capabilities. It's not just tracks that like. He wins Las Vegas, right? Like, he wins Richmond, Chicagoland, Auto Club. That is 3 worn-out racetracks that you have to use throttle control, right?
Right.
And that's just his type of style. But JRM. Hopefully they can get to the Cup. Let's. Personally, I would love to see it. I think my dad would. I think a lot of people would actually return back to the sport. Like full force. Like, and that's not just saying that's a lot of pressure for Dale Jr. to excel, right? Because our ratings last Sunday, we had 3 million viewers on a Mother's Day weekend. That is really good for FS1.
Yep.
We beat the PGA Tour.
Yep, I saw that. It was the top broadcasted thing all weekend.
That is amazing. That is the biggest dub for ratings / viewers since Dale Jr. left. Okay?
Yeah.
So I think if he even came back to just the Cup Series, which he even said, let's say if we go back to Nashville, he's running it, right? Like, he even said he's running it. So, like, just imagine promoting that race if we do get that. Without even being JRM equipment. It could be Spire, for Christ, give it out loud, right?
Right. Junior's back, period.
4 million viewers at least.
Oh, yeah.
But to even say Nashville Fairgrounds in itself, that may even give it 5. Just a lot of things could really happen in the sport in the next couple of years that could really change the direction where it was going, right?
Yeah.
The car itself, everything about it is just, I'm genuinely super excited for it.
Same.
But Xfinity, congrats to all guys. I know we never really said that who won, but That
Yeah.
actually was a really funny. Did you ever see the end? Did you see his like? Uh,
Oh no, I know what you're talking about because I ended up missing because of work. But my parents was telling me about it yesterday about the fan.
dude, so they're under caution when he passed Barry or someone like that, right? Under caution, this dude in the navy shirt started flipping him off with two birds. He,
Yep.
he
Called him out and said, "Thanks for the motivation, dude."
dude, that is so funny.
I wish I got to see that live,
Kyle
man.
Busch has never even done that, just to show the type of like coolness all guys got, right? That's
Right.
dope. Well, the next thing we got is points, so we can talk about that. I actually have some pulled up right here. I'm gonna actually show it to you guys, so we instead of let's just
Do it the right way.
yeah, let's do it the right way this time. Oh my gosh, I literally don't know where it went. All right, well I gotta search it up again. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I looked back at last week's podcast and it's just a solid 20 minutes of just your blue screen. And I was like, dang. But it is what it is. It's all about learning and figuring this thing out.
All right, share screen. Share this. Share, right? All right, so we can do that and pull this over. All right, perfect. Now we got it, right? And we're also shown on the quarter, so we don't really, or the corner, so we don't like lose that as well. But do you see this much, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. So Denny Hamlin has the points lead, of course. He's 75 points above Truex. That's absolutely insane. Willie B. What a difference.
Something happened to the screen.
To
on my end, anyway.
Your screen is now paused. Resume share. Is it
there
good?
It goes.
Is it good?
Yeah,
okay.
That was weird. But anyway.
Okay, so Willie B. Look at this stat, right? 1 win, 4 top 5s, and 10 top 10s out of 12 starts.
Mm-hmm.
And he has 10 top 10s in a row. Like, that is insane. Yep. That's awesome. Let's look off. I'm trying to look at the playoff. Right? Let's. Where is that at? Where can I find that?
Man, the website looks so weird on a computer.
It does. I don't like this.
I'm so used to looking at it on the phone. It's like a whole website. Who knew?
Right, where can I find the playoff one?
I don't know, because on the phone it has it.
Okay, well, anyways, so this whole battle right here from 3rd all the way back to 10th, right? That is a whole battle right here. Let's even make it 4th. 4th all the way to 10th is crazy. So.
I forgot I can zoom in.
Yeah. So, like, Joey's only Joey's 123 back. But look at Chase. All right, he's 147 back. That's 8th. So that's only 20 points difference. And that's 2 stages, right? So that could be insane. But I think
points are tight.
Points are tight besides 1 from 2. Like
right.
Like Hamlin's really done a number here. I didn't notice this, okay? So, anytime that Hamlin finishes in the top 10, he finishes in the top 5. He doesn't actually, he doesn't finish in the top 10. That's hilarious.
Wait, what?
So look. So he has 9 top 5s and 9 top 10s.
Right.
He either like finishes.
Oh, okay,
great,
I see. So either in the top 5 or not at all. And
yeah, like
I see what you're saying.
that's pretty bad.
At the same time, though, he's got more top 5s than anyone, and almost tied with top 10s.
The most top 10s is definitely it's William. So
yep.
All right, well, there's that. There's the points. I just wanted to show you.
Oh, actually, Kevin's got 9 top 10s. Good for him. I didn't know that. That's actually a little bit of a surprise.
Holy cow! Look at that.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah. Most of those came at Dega too.
Literally, I think all of them. No, it was like one.
Nah, he led a couple at Darlington and then a couple I don't know, Atlanta, I think, or
Atlanta.
Something.
I don't remember it. It was like 10 laps, maybe tops.
Yeah, it is something like that.
Yeah. But
that's sad. That's the worst number laps led we've seen from him since 2013.
Look at this. Look at that one too. That's great.
That's rough.
I mean, just think of this.
It's insane.
He has 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s. That's terrible. He's on. Okay, he's actually doing a lot better than he's actually doing a lot better than these people. But I was trying to like compare him to somebody, but
compare him to Almirola. Let's see what Almirola's got.
Okay, yeah, he is 28th. You're right. Right.
28th.
That's freaking awful. That is terrible.
1 top 10, and that was Richmond. That's insane.
This is DNFs. He has the most DNFs out of anybody. That is awful.
Oh my gosh. There's only 33 consistent drivers. You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, this is by. Okay, well, no.
Well, what the hell?
Well, because
I guess those are all people with multiple mag. Yeah. Okay. Right. That makes sense.
So, like, some of the cars that aren't chartered, so that means they don't get points, even if you're a points person.
Okay.
Quinn Half.
Man, look at that. A solid 9 points. Hell yeah.
Dude, Derek Cope has 1
Derek Cope, he's got 1 solid point, man.
I love that.
Might as well be ahead of Almirola.
Good Lord. Honestly, okay, for real, this is impressive. Chris Buescher.
Yep. I mean, honestly, same with Michael McDowell. 15th. I mean, I know he's locked in, but point-wise, 15th.
Yeah.
That is huge. Where are his teammates at?
29th.
Is it just them 2?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big difference. I mean, Anthony Alfredo, I know, is a rookie, and he is talented as well. But
he's just not cup ready.
Yeah, I agree. Michael McDowell, though, has stepped it up. I don't know if it was because of the win and they just have stepped it up, or if they were going to be strong this season. I mean, he's got, 4 top 10s, 2 top 5s? That's huge. And we're only, 11 races in?
Literally,
12?
him and Bowman has the same stats.
That is huge.
2 top 5s, 4 top 10s. 3 DNFs. Holy cow.
That's
for
crazy.
Bowman. It's crazy. Is that 5 DNFs? I don't know. Wait.
Now you're on top 10. Well, now you're on top 5.
Oh, yeah. It was 3 DNFs. That's terrible.
For Bowman, yeah.
Look, I just realized something. Joey Logano only has 6 top 10s.
Yeah. It's that win, and I think he's run a couple stages now. Yeah, I mean, we've got 5, and then he's actually got a decent amount of stages, I guess.
Yeah.
And 2 DNFs.
That's crazy. Well, that's the points. Denny Hamlin's pretty much doing pretty well.
Dominating them as of now.
Honestly, okay. I actually really don't think he'll win the regular season championship.
I agree. I mean, obviously, we're still early in, so for all we know, he could win 4 times or he could get 70 DNFs. I mean, things can change, man. We're only halfway through the regular season.
Up front, he sucks. That's what happened. So
pretty much.
All right.
I personally don't think he's going to win the regular season championship either. Not without winning, anyway. But anyway, yeah, points are tight. I think overall the car that has most impressed me is Michael Mcdowell.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
They've stepped up big time. Obviously winning, but obviously coming at Daytona. But they got something going right for that team for being way underfunded.
And it's awesome. Like I'm like,
yeah, absolutely. I hope we see more of that, especially next year. We might see a whole lot of that. But
it's just awesome, really. I just don't know. I love the parity that we've seen so far in the Cup Series, though. Like this year.
I agree. It's coming to the point to where there's going to be people I think that really deserve to be in the playoffs, and they're not going to make it because of the fact they're not going to win.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious about who those people are going to be.
I mean, we're about to go to this road course.
Yep.
Stretch here in a second.
I mean, for all we know, we expect Chase to win. Obviously,
I think
we expect Harvick,
right? Like,
yeah.
But I mean, we're going to places like, okay. So for the next few weeks, I'm just going to name them off. Of course, Dover Sunday, which we'll get the picks in about 2 minutes after I name these off. Circuit of Americas, right after Dover. So we're already going into like this woo. And then the Coke 600, which is automatically always a who's type of race. You could have Casey Mears type of win or a normal Kyle Busch
or
Martin Truex.
Or Truex dominating, leading every fucking lap, basically.
Yeah, leading 400 laps. I could see it.
Yeah, that race can go either way. It really can.
I think the moment that Truex leads 400 laps, the Coke 600 is the day that I quit watching racing. Nashville's coming up soon. Holy cow!
Yeah, you're going to that.
I am. I can't wait.
You better start saving. Make that trip.
We got Sonoma, and right after, literally road course, mile and a half road course, and then mile and a half again, which is
which one?
That's Texas Motor. It's the
All-Star. Damn.
And then Nashville, and then we're going Pocono, which that could be anybody's race for real.
Woohoo!
Beautiful. And then Road America, Atlanta for the 400-mile race.
Yeah,
which
my parents will be there.
Honestly, I think that race is going to be way better than a 500-mile Atlanta race. And
I agree.
Not because I'm going to say this. I think NASCAR races should be large. I think we could cut them down a little bit. I think only the 500 miles should be the crown jewels. That's it. But everything else should be 400 lower.
Obviously the Coke 600 should be the Coke 600. But
yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I agree. I think the crown jewels should be 500 miles. Other than that, I think we could easily do 300, 350, 400.
Yeah, I would.
And we'll be fine.
Like, we don't have to just sit here and just run 3.5 hour races, right? Like that's the problem with NASCAR right now is the attention span that the fans have. But
right.
We'll get
and then on top of that, if they drop the miles down, that obviously means less laps. That obviously means less time to get the job done. More excitement from a fan perspective. Well, I won't say all fans, but sadly, there's a lot of fans that just like chaos, which is fine. Fan's a fan, but more chaos. Shorter races, more chaos. I mean, we see it like in the truck series.
Yeah.
They are chaotic because they're freaking short. They have an hour and a half to get the job done.
Well, and the thing is the young drivers actually, this is weird, right? You would think the older drivers would be like, yeah, I want the shorter races. I've been doing this for a long time. Now they want to keep it. The young drivers are like, well, realistically, if you go to your local short track, you have 20 laps to get from the back to the front. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. And what creates the best racing, right? And personally, the 20 laps, right? Because you're going to see drivers do things that may or may not.
They wouldn't do in a 500 lap race because they got to sit there and manage their car, manage the tires, manage the race. Period.
And I don't know if you saw this, but Jimmy Johnson will be on Kelly Clarkson, the Kelly Clarkson show. I don't watch it personally. I don't get into it. But he explained the difference between a race car, like a stock car, versus an Indy car in a different way, right? He goes, in a stock car, it was a different type of talent, right? Like you drove the race car, you had the mechanical grip, you had to do this, do that, you had to save your tires, save your brakes. But IndyCar is the complete opposite, right? IndyCar is all about downforce and straight go for it. It's light, super light. You don't have to save your brakes. You don't have to save your tires because you're on the same tires everybody else, right? And so it's just like he said, it's a completely different animal, and it's funny because right now IndyCar is pretty close to the best racing I'm seeing so far, right? Like they're literally not losing a beat when it comes to side by side racing right now. So now, of course, personally, I don't watch IndyCar. I don't care. I'm only watching it because of Jimmy Johnson, because he's awesome, right? it's just cool to see how he sucks, right? Like it's funny.
It's cool to see how he sucks.
He really sucks. Like he sucks at it. Like
that's so funny.
But you see him in a stock car and he's like, he's one of the best to ever do it.
The best, arguably.
I personally think so, but I was good.
Yeah, I agree, but that's a whole different debate for a lot of other people.
But I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy to see the difference, and a lot of people thought Juan sucked, Juan Pablo, right? But if you think about it, he did so well for the NASCAR type of where he came from, right?
Yeah. He almost won an oval multiple times.
To the 2013 Dover race that we were talking about, where I think he outplayed Jimmy Johnson. I'm serious. So, do you know about the restart? Like, how Stewart won?
Yeah. He jumped the start, technically, but not.
Yeah. So Juan went, he spun the tires, but he kept it in a way where he got it gathered back, but he didn't let Jimmy let him go. So Jimmy was off the throttle after he knew that he was going to overjump it, right?
Right.
But he never let Jimmy give him the spot back. He let off even more. That is probably the biggest dick move I've ever seen in my life, because that's your fierce competitor. You still lost the race, which is funny.
Yeah.
But that is your fierce competitor, and you're like, I know that he's gonna beat me, so I'm gonna just make sure he doesn't. Like, that is the smartest / jerk thing to do. And honestly, it's funny. Like, if you go back, I rewatched that race. That's how I knew that what you said was like, oh yeah, that's what happened. But it's just super funny to see that, right? Like, Juan was really good for what he had, and a lot of people just don't appreciate who he is.
Right. I mean, he's very talented. I mean, he's still racing to this day. I think in IMSA, I believe he's in right now. Yeah. And I believe his son is also coming up through something. I couldn't tell you what, but I believe his son is coming up as well now.
It's like go-karts, so he'll probably go open well.
Something like that, yeah. I'm sure. But I mean, yeah, he's very talented. He won what I think his only one was Sonoma, right? Just 1 year, or did he win? Oh, and I think he won Watkins Glen as well. Maybe, I don't know. I couldn't tell you honestly. I know he won at least one Sonoma race, but
yeah, it was in 2007. That was the COT that Hendrick didn't win. Because that's when
it's a Hendrick affiliation. Well, actually, I think back then it was an RCR, but
no, it was a Dodge. Remember, because that was when Ganassi was still with like, well, Ganassi wasn't with DEI because they didn't match with DEI until like 2010. So because the 42 car was like Jamie McMurray's teammate back when it was like Sterling Marlin's type of thing.
Right. Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember now. You're right. But yeah, other than that though, I mean, he came close a handful of times. I remember he was leading late or actually no, he wasn't leading, but he was chasing down Kurt late at Atlanta back when we saw Edwards flip Keselowski. the payback. And then I think one time at Chicagoland he like led like 135 laps, something like that, and then like blew up. But
yeah, he actually had really good. He was really good at Bristol too.
Yeah, he was. He was really good at Bristol. I remember he did a lot of the diamond. He would drift up to like the high middle lane, the diamond, and back down.
Yep.
I always saw him doing that one. But
so a lot of people, Jeff Gordon got people on that, and so which is really cool to know that Jeff Gordon actually has a move for short tracks that like people use today. Like Chase is the biggest person to do it, right? So I don't even think it's because of Jeff. I think he actually found something better than Jeff because he does it at the beginning of the run. Jeff used to do it just to save tires. I think Chase actually he finds speed doing it. So however he sets the car, which I think he sets the car super tight at short tracks for that to happen because that's personally how I set my car. So I kind of know where that's coming from. So like,
which is also good for the long run as well. That's short tracks.
So like you go in straighter, so you carry more speed, but you kind of like you literally stop at the center, but it shoots you straight off and it makes the straightaways longer, and that creates lap time, right? But that also doesn't burn your right rear at all. So and I think Montoya was one of the people that really did it with Jeff, right? Because no one really did it besides Jeff and Montoya. Until Montoya, you see an IndyCar driver who actually literally is doing it and is passing you. You're going to be like, oh, how is this possible? So, it's just like...
Literally.
But that's just the point where we're going with, like, it's just crazy to see. I don't know. I don't know.
How do we even get to Montoya?
I don't even know where we got to Jimmy Johnson.
Don't know. But
I'm trying to think.
Going back to the IndyCar and the differences between them too, I feel like that's a big reason why we also saw Danica not succeed because it's such a difference. Like how you said, Johnson was talking about the differences between the two on that show. That's how it all started.
Yeah, but how did I get there? Because there's a reason why I said that.
Don't know. But yeah, I feel like that was a big reason why we saw Danica not succeed is because, like Johnson said, they're so different. They're not only are the cars different, they handle different. It's a whole different world and type of racing. And I feel like to truly go from one series like that to another and be successful, I feel like there's only a select few. Obviously, we saw Stewart do it. Other than that, it was Mario Andretti and
AJ Foyt.
AJ Foyt, yeah,
that was about it.
That's it. That's crazy. You have to have a very specific set of skills to do that. And then I don't know personally what Andretti and AJ Foyt. Am I saying that right?
AJ.
Well, no, the second part though.
Foyt, yeah.
Foyt, okay, yeah, I was just making sure. Anyway,
You're saying AJ like twice, and I was
Yeah, I know AJ, but I don't know what other type of racing them two specifically did besides Indy and NASCAR. But obviously, we know Stewart has done dirt and a bunch of other shit. But I feel like that goes back to just being quote unquote a real man.
Yeah.
And if you got that skill, you got that skill. Not that Jimmy isn't, but it's just different.
It's just different type of. Yeah, this is his first year doing it, so he also expected to have this, but
right.
But he's not committed fully to it, right? So like, he's in a different type of program, in his mindset, right? He's just doing it for fun, so he doesn't care really where he finishes. He wants to win, but like, he's just doing it just to. If he can win a race, he mastered that, right? That's just what it is. Because he already has an IMSA win. Back when he raced,
does he?
Yeah, for the Daytona road course, like the 24.
Oh, okay.
So he really doesn't have a win, but like he does.
Right.
Like, but Larson is I think the closest thing we can get to Tony Stewart, right? I know that sounds crazy, but I
agree though.
He's won an IMSA race already with Jeff Gordon, and he did the Corvette thing.
Yep, that was with McMurray, right?
Yeah,
them three. Yeah, that was cool.
so they did it. I mean, and he's literally one of the best on dirt to ever do it.
If not the best.
Yeah. And then stock cars. I mean, he's good literally wherever he goes.
And he's even though he's been in the sport, 7-8 years now? Which is actually a little surprising. He's still got a long way to go. He's only 26.
Yeah, he's super good.
He's still young, man. He has a whole future above him. He will be a champion, no doubt.
One time, probably. Yeah. Honestly, biggest chance this year. I know that sounds crazy, but like, I think him and Truex are the best too.
I agree. As of right now,
like, yeah, of course Hamlin, is finishing top fives literally.
Right, he's solid, but you gotta win.
You gotta win. Like, that's just this type of thing.
Especially when it comes to playoff time. The wins matter more than points. Yeah. Playoff time.
But I technically could see Larson being in that category. If he really wanted to go try IndyCar, I think he could go out there and just do it. I don't even think
I agree.
I don't even think it would require him to really try. I think he would just his just natural, just not. Obviously, Jimmy has the natural talent, but Jimmy's in a different type of. He's a different type of driver, right? Like, he doesn't attack the race car. He's never been that person.
So smooth.
He's just a super smooth. Honestly, I'm gonna say this. Kind of reminds me of Truex, right? Okay, super smooth driver, right?
Yep.
But I'm not comparing Martin Truex to Jimmy Johnson. I would never do that in my life. But I'm saying by the type of...
I feel like their driving styles are similar.
Right?
Though, yeah.
Like how they race, they're super smooth, hit their marks every time. They never miss a beat. They do not move someone for a win, right? They will literally not...
They'll race you hard.
put the bumper to someone. I've never seen Jimmy Johnson legit put the bumper to someone besides Truex. He missed
Gordon, kind of.
He pitched him down, right? Like, but I don't know. It's just like Truex.
I think the only person I could see Truex moving would be Denny Hamlin right now. I think he would be the only one, and that's just because Hamlin races him like a dick. He really does.
Actually, I give three drivers, and I have three different reasons why. Okay, so Hamlin because he's just a douchebag, right? Joey because of
I can see that too.
Because Joey's Joey. Like I have no. Everyone in the field knows that he would move him for a win. He would move anybody for a win, right? So they automatically would give that opportunity, right?
At the same time, though, we've seen Truex in the position multiple times to move Joey, and he hasn't. So
super weird.
That might not even be true. He might not move Joey.
He may not. And the third is Chase, and because it's Joe Gibbs with Chase versus Chase Elliott. I don't know. Yeah. There's something about it. Like, they literally hate his guts. They don't mean to, right? They all respect him as a driver.
Well, I don't think Hamlin does personally. The other two, though, I think
it's funny how he doesn't respect him, and then he hasn't won a championship. But
he don't respect anyone that wins championships.
Apparently, like he gets like he literally told in 2010 when he was battling Jimmy, he literally said like Jimmy was trash. He literally said that in 2010. I'm like,
yeah.
That was he's won the last 4 championships. Dog.
What?
Like what?
What? Where's yours, Danny?
And then every time you get close, you choking on it hard. You know, like literally. I don't know, but that's beside the point.
Danny, man, I can't. It's mind blowing how much I hate Danny. He's by far the person I hate the most in sport right now. By far. I used to hate Bush, but that was more or less because of personal reasons, because him and Harvick had a lot of issues for a while. So I didn't like Bush because of it. He was costing Kevin all kinds of money with KHI, and then also wrecking Kevin and Cup and so on. So I hated Bush. But after that pretty much after Harvick went to Stewart-Haas Racing, their stuff honestly just went away. Their issues, but also it's
so different with each other now. Like
they really do. They're respectful. But the last time I saw Harvick move Bush was at Michigan a year ago, and honestly, it was on accident. He didn't even mean to do it.
And Bush knew that. He literally said it was all air.
Right. But other than that, I couldn't tell you the last time Harvick moved Bush. Oh, actually, I could. It was New Hampshire.
But
all right. So other than that, I don't know.
I have not seen Kyle Busch move someone in a long time.
Last one, and technically would have been Larson, but that was also different. That's a different situation. But other than that,
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's been a while, man. It's been a while.
It's been since 2017. Him moving Joey, but it wasn't for the win, but it was just because it was
at Vegas.
Because it was Joey, right?
Yeah.
Ironically, Truex won that race, but I guess we can just go on the picks because I wish the other two were here because like
I know they just having more people in general in any conversation, whether it's NASCAR or whatever. Yeah. Just the more people you have, the more you can feed in and get different ideas and so on.
Like it's just but
I also think that's why we run so late when it's like all four of us because we just keep freaking talking.
It's still we're an hour and 12 minutes, so we're doing pretty good for what we usually do. I guess we go straight on to Xfinity for your picks.
Is Truck's not running?
No, Truck's not running. Okay. Dover. Sorry. I'll give Thomas didn't give us his picks. Unfortunately, I'm sorry about that, but
I know I meant to text him too and ask, but it's what it is. Thomas would probably say Gregson's gonna win Xfinity. He would probably say he'd probably say like Annette is gonna suck, and then Herbst needs a good run. That's what Thomas would say. And then Cup, he would say Bowman's going to win. Logano's going to suck. And Almirola needs a good run. Okay. That's what he'd say.
Perfect. Okay. So we're going to do Xfinity for Statboy, a.k.a. Dylan. He picked to struggle is Josh Williams. That's obvious.
What?
But
that had to be said.
Who needs a good run is Herbst.
Yeah,
he sure does. And then the winner is Jeb Burton.
Jeb Burton.
That's a weird combination.
Dover. I don't know about Dover. I don't know. Maybe.
Well. Let's see.
What was his Cup?
Oh, I was just gonna wait till we did ours.
Okay.
Okay. So you go ahead and do your picks if you want.
All right. So Xfinity, I think needs a good run. Obviously, Herbst. I'm not gonna go with that, but I think Xfinity needs a good run. I'm gonna go with Justin Haley. I hate him personally. I hate him, but I think he needs a good run. I think he needs to show up at a freaking oval finally. That's not Dega. Who I think is gonna suck. I think it's gonna be Jeb Burton. Sadly, I like Jeb a lot. I want him to exceed, but I do think he's gonna suck. I think that's gonna be a tough challenge for him at Dover, and to succeed. This is gonna be statistically the best equipment he's been in. I mean, obviously all year at every track, but Dover's a hard track, man. I just don't know. I don't know, but I think Allgaier is going to win. I think he's going to double down, go back to back. He's dang good at Dover. He always has been. I think he's going to get his second win at Dover in a row. Back to back.
That's pretty good.
And actually, did he win both of them last year? The back to back races? Or was it just one?
I think so. No, yeah, he won both.
Yeah, he won both, and then later won both at Richmond. Or Iowa. One of those.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Who I think's gonna suck? Brandon Jones. Okay. So compared to his normal place, which is like he's usually top 5, top 10, I think he's actually gonna just suck. I do. Who needs a good run? I think the Brett Moffitt O2 Hour Sports team needs a good run. I feel like they're top 15 car, but they really need to step it up a tad bit to really make the Xfinity playoffs. Which I mean, they're on the cusp for it, but they just need to do it right.
Right.
Who I think is gonna win?
I feel like that's a good track for him to step it up at
really,
too.
Same. Who's gonna win? I have 2 drivers in hand. Okay, so I can either do the fun pick, or I can do the boring pick. I'll do the fun pick. Ty Gibbs is gonna win. I mean, his ARCA stats are insane here, so I don't even have any reason why I think he's gonna win. I just do. It's just. But my boring pick was going to be Justin Allgaier as well, actually. I think he's going to double down as well. But I just was trying to be exciting. So
yeah.
But really,
I mean, I can see it. I can see it.
Oh, I can tell. He doesn't surprise me anymore. So, like, if he goes out there and dominates and leads, half of the race, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But
do you know where he starts?
Well, he did 14th.
Okay.
So he has a little ways to get through the field, but
yeah.
I mean, obviously that even hurt him in a one-groove racetrack last week. So Josh Berry would be a fun one to look out for, though, because this is kind of short trackish. I know it kind of does both, but I think he could be more in contention than people think. Because
I agree. I could see him kind of diamonding the corner slightly, getting a good run off the bottom, and I feel like he can make a lot of time down there. He's obviously more of a flat track type of guy, so I feel like he would kind of gravitate more to the bottom just naturally. But I feel like we could see him diamond it and make a lot of good time, especially being a JRM equipment.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, needs a full-time ride. Like, I think he would do some wonders.
Yep, no doubt. Stuart Haas should drop Herbst and give it to him. They would win.
They would win. The Cup picks for Stat Boy is struggle is going to be Custer. That's pretty odd, actually. Kurt Busch is going to needs a good run, which he does. He really does.
Agreed.
He's 20th in points. Ross Chastain just passed you in points, so you really need to figure something out here. And the winner is Denny Hamlin.
No. Does he have a win there? I don't think he does he?
Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. I can look it up real quick. No, absolutely.
I think he won in 2013. I don't know that. He might not.
Oh, Oh, he won last year. 2020.
Oh, the two races. That's right. Harvick won the other one. That's right. Other than that, though, does he have any more?
What I'm
stat
seeing? Nope. Yeah, I don't see anything. So
okay. No, I don't think Hamilton's gonna win. So my cup. Who's gonna struggle? I think Blaney's gonna struggle. He's been decent there in the past. It's obviously a lot like Bristol, and he's good at Bristol, but I think he's gonna struggle. I don't know. I like Blaney. I think he's a great driver, and I think he's having a good season, but I feel like he's about to fall into like a summer slump here. I kind of see that happening for Blaney.
Yep.
So I think he's going to struggle. Who needs a good run besides the obvious ones? I'm going to go with Bubba again. I know I said him a couple weeks ago. I'm going to go with Bubba. Short track. I think he came close to winning in Xfinity when him and Buescher had some issues back when they were at Roush.
Literally,
I know he's
took him out.
Yeah.
The most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I mean, he's decent there. He's not bad, but I think Bubba needs a good run. He needs to step it up. I know when they came into the season, he was expecting to win 2 races, which is retarded. But I think they need to make the playoffs. If they don't make the playoffs, I think max he has 1 year left in that ride. So they gotta figure some shit out.
Yeah.
My pick to win, I'm gonna go Harvick. He won last season as well as I believe the year before, and then also 2015, 16, something like that. 3 years, 3 wins. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, I'm gonna go Harvick. He's always been solid at Dover, especially since he came to Stewart-Haas. I think it's going to be his week to finally turn things around. With Stewart-Haas and himself going back in the right direction.
I like it. Who's going to suck? Well, I really don't state the obvious. But I think...
Yeah, try to avoid doing that.
Hold on. I'm going to look at the lineup that's not the obvious. Okay. Who I think is just suck, and who really doesn't really suck on a normal basis is Matt DiBenedetto. I really just don't think this is the type of track for him. Yes, it's kind of like Bristol, but it really doesn't race like Bristol at all.
No.
So I just don't think he'll get the job done. Who needs a good run? Tyler Reddick. He's right outside the playoffs. If he just has a really good run, he can kick Buescher out of it, which Buescher will most likely have a good run here just because it's his
he has a win, and yeah, he's solid there.
Who I think he's gonna win. The last time he raced here, he dominated and won. Kyle Larson is gonna win at Dover. So
it's not a bad pick. I could see that as well. Yeah.
That was his last win before.
Yep.
Yeah, but
no need to state the obvious.
but someone I want to look out for, it is Willie B. Okay, because so remember the playoff race that he had here last time, right? The playoff race that they just ran, whatever.
Yep.
And remember how he sucked the first race, right? They did terrible. Or no,
yeah.
It wasn't the playoff race. It was right before the cutoff for Daytona. So the first race that they had with the double duty thing, he sucked. Two laps down, they had the same car.
I think he ended up wrecking the car too, didn't they?
No, because they ended up using the same car, so I don't know if he wrecked, but he could have spun, obviously. Well, literally the same car goes out, changes his driving style completely. He literally said he changed everything new. He goes out and finishes third at Dover. Okay, so I think with what he knows from there, and the type of momentum that team has, he could beat the record for the most top 10 consecutive as young as he is. So that'd be fun to see. Because if he gets 11
that'd be
consecutive
cool.
top 10s as young as he is, he beats a lot of drivers. So he beats obviously Jeff, because he tied Jeff with the youngest 10. With the youngest with the 10. Now he'll beat Jeff with the youngest, but that's just crazy. That's just crazy to think that could happen.
That is,
because people were looking at Willie as the guy to kick out of HMS last year.
Last year, yeah, that was.
Which I knew that it wasn't him, right? Like I personally knew that he had the talent to do it, but I'm glad that he's actually showing what he's got.
I've always found that really odd how things. I mean, obviously we know 3-year span in anything in life, a lot of crap can happen. A lot of things can change, but a year ago Byron was on the cusp of looking to be the odd man out. 2-3 years ago, we thought Hamlin was going to be out of a ride. Look at him now. Basically halfway dominated last season with Harvick. He's running. He's excluding the wins. He's, I would say, the most consistent JGR car as of now. It's just it's sometimes mind blowing to see that. It's just crazy that you think one thing's going to happen and it just doesn't, and then it's a whole 180 around. Like, the past year or two, we thought Keselowski's going to be the guy out at Penske, and who knows? Next year we could see him winning a championship and signing a 6-year deal there.
It's
crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens the rest of the season, because I've actually enjoyed this season.
I agree. I really like seeing the different winners and stuff. Obviously, I want Harvick to win, but it's so cool to see the different. And on top of that, with the playoff system, it just leaves it so far up in the air that we don't know who the hell's getting in as far as win-wise. And then once they get in, what the hell is going to happen then? Because we're going to have 10-plus drivers all with one win. So points are going to be crazy tight going in.
Yeah,
there's no telling who's going to make it to the Final Four as of right now.
So if you look at the Final Four and the tracks that round has leading up to it, you could see people that hasn't dominated the season, as long as they're in the Final 8, they'll be there. They'll be in the Final Four.
What are the last 2 races? Kansas, Texas, and Phoenix? Or no, not Phoenix.
Yeah, Kansas, Texas, and Martinsville.
Martinsville, yeah. Okay.
So look what happened last year, right? Harvick should have been in the Final Four, right?
Absolutely, he should have been.
But I didn't know that Texas and Kansas switched.
They did?
So it goes Texas, Kansas, Martinsville. That's weird. I didn't know that. But to going back to my point is let's say Chase really hasn't done much so far, right? But for some reason, when that team hits the playoffs, they're a completely different team. Every year, they're always that way, right? So, and that reminds me of the 48 car back when he dominated, right? They were really good at the beginning of the season, but they struggled in the middle on purpose. I feel like they tried things.
Yeah, I feel like we're about to see that classic Hendrick, I guess, situation where, they got what, three wins already, yeah. Right.
Well,
minus Chase. But I feel like we're going to see the classic Hendrick situation, and they're going to go into the summer slump as they did, 15, 20 years ago. They always did, period.
Yeah.
They didn't perform in the summer. They never did. But the scary thing is I think if they don't perform this summer, they could be looking at some of them not being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
With all these different winners. We obviously expect Harvick, Hamlin, obviously Chase as well, but and some others, we could even throw in Briscoe at Indy Road Course. He's got experience there. What if he wins there?
Yeah.
What if Custer busts out another Kentucky style win? What if whoever? There's so many endless possibilities. Of course, we still go back to Daytona as well. So without them performing in the summer, I think we could easily see one. I'd be willing to bet right now one Hendrick car's not making the playoffs, and that could be even one with a win.
Yeah,
and that's simply just because the summer slump.
Yeah, but this summer slump is this summer is a real different than what we've seen, because
I know it's a whole different world from 20 years ago. But
Hendrick is really good at they do that on purpose, right? Like they try different things.
And that's the time to do it. If you're in, and that's the time. But
so of course, like I said, Dover, Circuit of the Americas, the Coke 600. After the Coke 600, you see a different type of Hendrick Motorsports. You can tell that they have speed, but there's something there that either they click one race or they don't, and that they know what works or not.
Right.
Which I don't think they're going to try something at Nashville, right? Like, there's nothing at Nashville that they can gain for the playoffs. So they're going to give their best, right? But you go to...
show up with a good car and good setup. Right. If it works, it works. If not, we'll be back next year.
None of these tracks in the summer months are like the playoffs. So that's why I don't think that they even will try anything, right? Because if you look at the only ones that is road courses. That's the only thing that has a similarity to it. Because after Charlotte, that's what I'm basing this off. It's Sonoma, Nashville, Pocono, Road America, Atlanta, that's the closest thing we've got to any of them. New Hampshire, Watkins Glen, Indianapolis Road Course, Michigan, Daytona.
See, for me personally, that I don't think Hendrick has time to do experimentation like they used to / what they do. They need to perform.
Yeah,
mainly because if there's so many, if Harvick, Hamlin, as well as Chase, because that doesn't technically help the other Hendrick drivers, but Chase, even Kurt's a damn good road course racer as well.
Yeah.
Obviously not so much in the past year or so, but there's endless possibilities of what can happen. I don't think there's time to test things out. I think they need to go out and try and win. Period.
And the 9 team could have really noticed that at the beginning of the season, right?
Right.
So maybe we saw them because the beginning of the season looks like the end. Literally.
Yeah.
It literally does. And I'm not saying that the 9 team does this on purpose, right? We don't know what's in their parades. We don't know what any of the teams really have, right? Until they get to that moment. But I really, really think that the 9 team and Allen really looked at the schedule and was like, okay, let's try stuff day one. I bet you everyone was like, and then they see all these different winners, right? And they're like, oh, wait a second.
Right. We need to figure some shit out right now and go back to
bingo,
what we know.
Right? They're like, okay, well, this ain't going to work. And so I think they're going to circle all the road courses for them, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They should, right? They need to hit 2 wins. They do.
Yeah.
Because of how low they are in points, they got to hit 2 wins.
Yeah,
I think so.
Absolutely. I think right now, I think 2 wins is the only guarantee, unless you are really high in points, like Truex. Well, Truex has 3, but so let's say Logano, Byron, even. Unless you're high up, you need 2 wins. Yeah. Like even for Chase as well, Harvick. I'm worried, man. If they only get 1 win, that might not be enough this season.
Honestly,
obviously, Michael McDowell is going to be the bottom of all of that. But
no, it'll be what's his name? Come on. This is the better standings. That looks like it. Would it be Christopher Bell?
Maybe top point wise. Yeah, I guess maybe it probably would.
No, it is Michael Mcdowell. Well, Bowman's right there. So
yeah, either way, they're probably all right around there. But
one could be out, right?
Yeah.
But this whole season's been Joe Gibbs / Hendrick the whole season, and Blaney, right? Because it's been a weird combination where one Penske car does good, the rest of them sucks. The other two just doesn't perform.
Yeah, that's how the whole season has been for them. One does good, the rest suck. That's interesting, and that could be all simple fact of they have wins.
Yep.
And it's just a matter of different races. They're trying random different things. Blaney wants to try a setup for later in the playoffs for I don't know, fucking Charlotte, but. Well, that wouldn't work because they do the Roval, but you know what I mean, though.
I guess it.
but
I
don't know.
Charlotte
It's interesting.
Looks like Texas. I think.
Right.
I really think that Hendrick is going to blow the All-Star race on purpose because they're going to circle.
I agree.
They're going to circle Texas, the All-Star race, as like the playoff race, right?
Right. And a lot might do that, not just Hendrick in general, but a lot might.
I don't know. That's just crazy. But
yeah, I mean,
oh, go ahead.
That's a good point, though. I didn't even think about that. This All-Star race might just be a total crapshoot for a lot of teams, and we might see someone like Ross Chastain win on the fan vote and then just go dominate the race because they came to win the race, not to practice.
Oh, by the way, I was going to talk about this next week because they weren't here. Because I said I had a lot to talk about next week because of what came out today. Well, I'm going to just say it since we're talking about Texas. Eddie, the president of Texas Motor Speedway, announced that he will retire after the All-Star race.
Really?
Yep. So the president of Texas Motor Speedway that changed the layout that it is right now said he's going to retire after the All-Star race. So what's going to happen?
That might be great for us, man.
It could be really great because we could get that friggin' track out of here, right? They're never going to go back to the other. It costs way too much money to put all that banking back into 1 and 2, right?
Right.
We're probably just going to get rid of that track.
I agree. And it sucks because Texas is a massive venue, and they might be back in 5-10 years when NASCAR blows back up. Hopefully it does.
Yeah.
And if it does, they might drop. Sadly, something like Atlanta or something for Texas because they have the most amount of seats besides I think Indianapolis and Talladega, I believe. They have the most.
Hold on, Stafford's coming in.
Oh, there we go. We got a good question for him right off the bat.
It's connecting to audio.
I think they hold a lot. I think it's like 180,000, something like that. But
the hell y'all doing?
Hey, Stat Boy, I got a question for you.
Literally about in the podcast right here. So you
does Texas Motor Speedway? How much fans do they hold? And also, what number is that track? Like, is that like the third track that holds the most races or fans?
Texas.
Sorry. Yeah.
181,655.
I was so close. I said 180.
That's crazy.
That's a lot. All right. So compared to the other tracks, how much is that? Is that like third? Because I think Talladega and I think Indy hold more.
I'm looking. Give me a second.
I'm pretty sure Indy definitely does. Talladega might not, though.
It beats Daytona.
Yep.
Texas is the most.
The most? Okay. So,
Bristol holds 162,000.
Wow. Yeah, I think a lot wrapped around. How much does Indy hold? Like 150?
I'm looking right
Actually,
now.
I think they're like 135.
Trying to find like a list, but there's none showing up.
Right.
Indian.
It's 135,000.
At Indy?
Yeah.
Man, I'm good at this game. I bet Dover holds 85,000.
He doesn't say.
Yeah.
It is?
I don't know. There's not a good list.
You literally said an 85. Are you looking as
Golly,
well?
man. No, I'm looking at you, man. Man, I'm good at this shit. All right.
All right, another track. I bet.
All right. All right, actually, you tell me the tracks. I'm not just naming them. Not something new that's new on the schedule because I'm not gonna know that. Like I'm not gonna know what Coda holds, but
Auto Club.
Auto Club. I'm gonna say 68.
122,000.
Oh, what?
Oh, here we go. I found a list.
Oh, I'm way off now. All right, do a different one. I gotta redeem myself.
Indy. Oh, Indy does hold more.
Oh, do they really?
Yes.
What are they at?
257,325.
Oh, shit. I had a feeling they held more than Texas because they're like damn near wrapped around, and that track is huge.
Where's Dega?
Dega, I think it's probably like
175,000.
Yeah, it's like 170. Yeah.
Oh, this list needs to be updated.
So they gave me COVID. They gave me the COVID capacity.
Ah.
So.
All right. Have fun. Bye.
Well, no, we're about to end it. We might as well just wait before you leave.
All right.
All right. Well, peace out, y'all. Thanks for joining us. This is Dylan with Mitch and Statboy for 3 minutes. But peace out. By the way, just remember, Martin Truex Jr. sucks.